Welcome. Peace. Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of the No Anonymity Podcast. Let's go. Listen to the lyrics. Cairo the Great. Give it to him.
I'm here to talk the truth and try to spread a little change. Educate your mind, food for your brain. We all want change. In these dying days, the streets at rage, for the youth must pray. I ain't got time for y'all to tell me nothing. Cats be frontin', that's when you know they know nothing. It's a new world order, so fall in line. Sometime if you listen, it can open your eyes. This your brain on drugs. Let's explain what was, how some get targeted, dragged through the mud. It's our conversation, we just talking the facts. And to those with opinions can reply to that. And I reply you back, but that's besides the fact. It's like time for the show, let's get your mind intact. We can all conversate and lay out facts. It's the No Anonymity Podcast. Let's go.
Oh, we gotta run that back. Let's go. Welcome to the No Anonymity Podcast. Great weekend.
No anonymity.
Waiting on a very special guest to check in. New intro by Cairo the Great. Listen to the lyrics. Tell me, don't it fit the podcast? Oh, so lovely. Real content over here. Let's go.
I'm here to talk the truth and try to spread a little change. Educate your mind, food for your brain. We all want change. In these dying days, the streets at rage, for the youth must pray. I ain't got time for y'all to tell me nothing. Cats be frontin', that's when you know they know nothing. It's a new world order, so fall in line. Sometime if you listen, it can open your eyes. This your brain on drugs. Let's explain what was, how some get targeted, dragged through the mud. It's our conversation, we just talking the facts. And to those with opinions can reply to that. And I reply you back, but that's besides the fact. It's like time for the show, let's get your mind intact. We can all conversate and lay out facts. It's the No Anonymity Podcast. Let's go.
Hi. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of the No Anonymity Podcast. That was a dope intro by Cairo the Great. Man, listen, so excited. It fit everything I'm doing over here. We waiting on a legend in the wrestling business to pull up, in the Lucha Libre wrestling business to pull up in a minute. But as you guys know, all I do around this time right now, cologne of the evening. Man, listen, this is a banger. Woo! Kings of Queens. You see that bottle so official? Oh my God. Let me see. Let me hit a little something, man. Let me see. Look at that. Oh my God. The distribution is amazing. Go get that. Kings of Queens, if you can find it. Go get that. Cologne of the evening. I didn't do a show last weekend because it was my birthday weekend. Turned the big 50 last weekend, half 100. Thank God. Blessed, still here. No complaints, not on any medication, not walking with a cane, don't have diabetes, don't have sugar, don't have high blood pressure, not bragging nothing, but just take care of myself. Health is wealth. And I'm just thankful and so blessed to be alive. Okay. If you want to support the show, the Cash App is at the bottom. Hit the link. Waiting on another very, very, very special guest to pull up real soon. We told him 4:00. We're a little bit early. But anyway, we're going to do a pull-up show tonight with my guest. Cooley Lee, she always come through. We're going to come back on tonight at around 8:00. So that'll be around 10, 11 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk NBA young boy news. We're going to talk Kia boys all across the country. We're going to talk voting. We're going to get into a little bit of everything on a pull-up show tonight. So make sure y'all check back in tonight for part 2 of that. But today, this is volume 1 of what I'm trying to do with this wrestling, doing wrestling interviews. You guys know I had Stevie J on the show. My bad, not Stevie J. Woo! Even though I reached out to him That might be God talking to me. He might come on the show. I reached out to Booker T's brother, Stevie Ray. Go check that episode. It's kind of long. I need to chop it up. But my man didn't want to talk wrestling. He wanted to talk, he wanted to say, and I get that. He wanted to save the content for his own platform. I get that. Could have gave us a little bit, but it's all good. Tonight, we're going to talk on the independent circuit, the Lucha Libre circuit. A lot of people don't know about Lucha Libres and how hard that is. It's very different from American style wrestling. Very different. You have to remember a lot. And we're going to go into that tonight too, as far as like spots that you have to do. Shout out to whoever was watching. Appreciate you. Some people watch incognito because they don't want to, the haters. I don't know. They don't want me to know they're watching the show. That's cool. Hit the like button when you come in. Subscribe to the channel. And we're waiting on my guy to pop up. Anarky. If you're familiar with Lucha Libre wrestling, especially here out west, and particularly out here in Arizona, you know who Anarky is. You know who he is. Great guy. Been doing this for a long time. And we're going to have a lot more wrestlers come on this program, hopefully. It's something near and dear to me. Shout out to Cody Rhodes. He won that WWE title. They wouldn't give it to his dad for some reason. I don't know what Vince's problem was with his father, but at any rate, Cody got it. Shout out to Cody. Congratulations. He ended his story. You guys been following wrestling. You should know that story. Again, had a great birthday weekend. My good friend Isaac, his birthday is on the same as mine, April 15th. Dre's birthday was April 2nd. So we all just got together and had a party at this place called Lush Lounge Cafe here in Phoenix, Arizona, out in Tempe, Arizona. Beautiful grown folk. They had live jazz, live music. We had a table of 13. They seated me at the head of the table because I turned a big 5-0. It was a beautiful, classy event. That was on. I'm a little bit congested. Excuse me. Might need some agua. That was on Friday. Saturday, we went out to my boy Isaac's mansion. And we had a nice time. We had a classy pool party. It was dope. Everybody came out and celebrated. We had all kind of food. We had crab, fish, chicken, steak. They had all kind of fruit, champagne, all types of drinks. It was real classy. It was cool. People brought their kids out. We grown folk. We just chilling, vibing. We did that on Sunday to continue our birthday celebration because our birthday was actually Monday, April 15th. And we had a good time. It was a real good time, man. I got a pair of Jordan's 11, some retros, the black and I think they're black and green. Got a couple more bottles of cologne. I got 3 bottles of cologne, actually. What else did I get? I got a nice little polo hat and shirt. I got a short outfit, some t-shirts. I got some gifts from people who love me. Everybody that rock with me really showed out for me. And it was a good thing. I got my best friend some cologne. He loves cologne just like I do. Got him some cologne. And it was a real classy event, real classy affair. And again, I'm so thankful and appreciative to be in the age that I am. A lot of people say you need to stop Beijinging. Maybe. My thing is the gray don't look right on light-skinned fellas like me. We look dirty when we got that gray. But I might let a little bit come in. I'm not sure. Who knows? Who knows? I might. Again, waiting on my guy to pull up in a second. And we're gonna get the show started. But y'all know I gotta come on here and talk my talk. Who is this? Intro sounds okay. Yes. Just waiting on him to pull up, and we're gonna get it going in a few seconds. But I want to know how everybody weekend was. hit the link. Like I said, I had a great weekend. I had an amazing birthday weekend. We did it big. Shout out to the owners at Lush Lounge that kept coming over to the table, checking up on us. We had a great time. If you go there, if you're here in Phoenix, Arizona, visit Lush Lounge. They have the best. We had a jerk chicken roll. It was amazing. Then it was my first time drinking a Moscow Mule. Buzzed. Then my man Jay came in, took us to the bar. We had shots. It was real classy. Had on like a white suit jacket. I was on my James Bond vibe. Again, turned 50. Thankful, blessed. Like I said, not to be on no type of medications, no high blood pressure, none of that. I'm really going to be more focused on taking care of myself now that I hit that milestone of 50. I've always been athletic, always try to stay in shape, but now it's time to step it up. Got to lay off that sugar. That sugar is hard to get off. And we waiting on my man Anarky. Let me see what's going on with him right quick. We're going to talk wrestling. Let's see where he at. Let me see where you at. Okay, just send him that. Hopefully he'll tap in. I know he has practice that and yes, all wrestlers still practice. Even WWE, they practice because practice makes perfect. You don't want to hurt people, so you have to. Practice, and practice makes perfect. So waiting on him to hit me back. And again, he'll be on soon. Man of his word, a luchador. Probably getting ready. Hope he come on here with his mask on. I really do. For the kids that's watching, everybody that's interested in becoming a professional wrestler, no matter what level it is, there's different levels. You can make money in more places. Everybody want to go to the WWE, and that's cool. But you can make money in New Japan Wrestling. You can make money at C-Mill Wrestling. You can make money that's over in Mexico. In all these independent circuits, if you just grind hard, get your merch, sell your merch, build your name, build your fan base, whether you're a rudo or a technical, okay? For my Spanish people, you know what that is. Whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, rudo or technical. I'm not sure what Anarky is. I think he is a technical. Pretty sure he is a good guy. But we'll ask him when he come on the show. As many of you may or may not know, I was a professional wrestler. Loved it. And I was a rudo, of course. Bad guy. Leyenda, legend. Had a great time. Met so many cool people. But it's hard. I didn't learn American style wrestling. I learned luchador style wrestling. Flipping and the different spots before move, before finish. You might do like 6 different spots. And the spot, I want to save it for the show. I want to save it for when Anarky pull up. And we'll talk about what spots are. But it can be difficult. It can be challenging, but it was fun. It was really, really, really fun doing that. But again, tonight, like I said, come back. We're going to do a pull-up show with my girl Cooley. We're going to talk about what's going on in current news. We'll talk about NBA YoungBoy possibly throwing his whole career away. If you guys up to speed with that. 24 years old, and they just, I don't know, they got all the money in the world, but that drug kept calling him, man. That drug, he was doing some crazy stuff. We'll get into that tonight. We're going to get into politics. And there he is. Like I said, there he is. Órale, amigo.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué tranza, homie?
The great himself.
I was sorry for being late. I was having little issues.
No, you cool. The living legend is here. What's going on, man?
Not much, brother. Just here, chilling at home, getting ready to eat some hot wings right now in a bit. So
okay.
So far, so good.
Yeah. Hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. It means a lot to me. I was telling the kids, or some of the people that's watching, that you could do more than just. A lot of people don't give the luchadors the credit and the respect that they deserve. You could do more than just being in the WWE or all these other places. Lucha Libre wrestling is super, super hard. Tell the people, how did you start even wanting to get into this sport?
Equally, it's a long story, but I guess we got time. So, um, well, ever since I was a little kid, obviously, growing up, my parents, they every Sunday was watching we're watching Lucha Libre. So it was something you look up to as a young boy. It's those are your superheroes, luchadores. The guys wearing the mask back then. Wearing capes. There
Hmm.
were superheroes, and
Hmm.
we could actually go see them at the arenas and in Nogales. When they were visiting and wrestling, having their shows. It was awesome. It was like getting to see the actual Spider-Man, Superman in person
Hmm.
perform. Beating up the villains. So it's a growing up in Mexico. It's one of the biggest cultures in Mexico. It's
Hmm.
actually a culture recognized by the Mexican government as one of the prime cultures in our country.
Hmm.
And I had my own mask back then. I would buy masks from my parents would buy masks for me. I actually went to a Catholic elementary school.
Okay.
Um, and I turned it up there, man. I started wrestling. They took the mask away from me. Since it was Catholic school, you couldn't do none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So growing up, it was something that I always wanted to do. I wanted to be around it, but once I matured, and had started a family, it was something that obviously wasn't there seriously now as a grown up. So I started doing some boxing. I did boxing for a couple of years, had a couple of amateur fights,
Hmm.
and when I already had my kids, two girls, one of them was 3, the other one was 1, and I took him to a lucha show in Mexico, just a local show, small show,
Yeah.
and we were there sitting first row, front row, and the oldest one, like I said, it was she was like 3.5. She fell in love with it. She fell in love with it, and it was something like, what I mean. This is something I hadn't gone to a show in years. I didn't even know there were shows in Nogales, um,
Right.
Mexico. So I took him, and she fell in love with it, and she was like, you know what, I want to go again. So I took her again, and she asked me, why can't you be a luchador? And
Mm.
I was like, shit. She's like, you know what, I would love to see you up there, Dad. Being a luchador.
Right.
And it just clicked. It was like, you know what, why not? I mean, I've been doing, like I said, boxing, basketball, football, baseball. I did wrestling in middle school, high school. So I've been an athlete all around pretty much all my life. So I was like, this can't be that hard. So
Right.
I tried out, and I found out that it was really, really hard.
It's really,
But
really hard.
I thought it was easy, man, because I mean that's what everybody says. It's like, you know what, you just
Hmm.
go in there, do a couple of flips, kick, hit, whatever,
Hmm.
top, and it looks so easy, so easy. But once you try it out, once you're up there, I mean, you know it yourself firsthand.
Hmm.
It's pretty difficult, and it was challenging, and that's why I kind of fell in love with it as well. I got to train my very first, day in training. I went in with the Mexican legend, Mocho Cota, he's from Nogales. But this
Wow.
guy this guy was all over. He was world champion. He wrestled all the way in Japan,
Hmm.
countries. He's one of the icons in all of Mexico, not just in Nogales. So my very first day was with him, and that helped me out a lot. I catched up pretty quick to it, having the basics with wrestling in school.
Hmm.
Those are pretty much the basics. Those are the first things that you're taught if you want to be a luchador. So I already knew pretty much the basics. So that's how it started. That's how it started. By just a random question from my girl. And my daughter. Why
Wow.
can't you be a luchador? And I was like, well, why
Wow.
not?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I wasn't sure. I was talking earlier in my monologue. Are you a technical or rudo? I think you're a technical, right?
Well, I was a technical back then. When we used to go up there to Phoenix, Arizona, I was a technical, but I always wanted to be a rudo from my first day.
Yes.
First day, I wanted to be a rudo,
Yes.
I always had those comments. You're too small, you're too short. You don't have. Back then, I was way skinny,
Yeah.
so it was like, no, you have to do this. So back then, it was like, okay, well, fine then. It got to a point, that I guess I gained some popularity,
Hmm.
and it got to a point where, what, I can do whatever I want to do. If I want to
That's
be a
right.
villain, I want to be a villain. If I want to be a good guy, I want to be a good guy. And
Hmm.
now, if you ask me, I mean, I don't even know what I'm, a técnico, a rudo. I just created um, this group of wrestlers. We're called los jefes, like the
Okay.
bosses, and
Okay.
um, and I'm the boss of bosses, jefe de jefes.
Okay.
So we're
Jefe Patron.
jefe de jefe, el patrón. So it's we just had a show this past Sunday here in Nogales,
Okay.
and it was me and my one of my teammates, Belico from Los Jefes as well,
Okay.
and we teamed up with Chessman, who is big villain from Triple A, and we fought the technicals from Triple A, who are Raptor, Drago, and this guy from Culiacan, Ronnie, who are the good guys.
Hmm.
The crowd was cheering for us the whole match. They were booing the technicals. They were cheering for us. So I mean, it's usually the other way around.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes we get the boos, sometimes we get the screams, the
Hmm.
yells, the applauses or whatever. At the end of the day, like I've always tell them, if it's a rule or a technical. I mean, we have the villain characters, but I don't I
Hmm.
don't, I don't consider myself. I obviously have the rule style, but I mean, we get up there and fight rudos or technicals or whatever.
Right. Now, let's explain the difference between American style wrestling and luchador wrestling. To me, I hope nobody don't get mad at this. When I was learning luchador style wrestling, it was so hard. I'm talking about the spots, and it'd be like six different sets. I'm like, oh, I
Oh
gotta
yeah,
remember all this.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Lucha Libre is just a whole different world. I mean, like you said, a lot of people can take offense to this, but I mean, you can ask any luchador to do wrestling, and we can do it. But if you
Yeah,
ask a American wrestler to do lucha libre, they're not going to be able to do it. And
yeah,
I've been there firsthand, wrestling you know Americans or anybody that does just pro wrestling, American style wrestling, and you try to do lucha libre, and it's just crazy. I mean, they have no clue. um, and in Mexico, it's or Mexican wrestling, it's
hmm,
just a whole different show, a whole different idea of the wrestling. The wrestling styles is just way too different. And
right,
in my opinion, it's like, even if you go to the TV like big WWE, I
yeah,
mean, obviously that's the biggest company in the world. I mean,
right.
it's American wrestling, but in my opinion, it's not the most fun to watch type of.
No, no, no. I like watching C Mill personally.
Oh yeah, Sam Lele
Yeah.
and AEW, adopting a little bit of a lucha libre now lately.
Hmm.
Triple A, it's they have some American style wrestling in there as well, because they want to do pretty much what WWE does. I mean,
Okay.
WWE is pretty big in when it comes to marketing, marketing,
Right.
marketing,
Right.
marketing, marketing. It's
Hmm.
obviously number one in the whole world.
Yeah.
But if you come to a fan or an actual wrestler, if you want to look at high flying or high impact, strong style type of lucha libre, it's obviously Mexican or Japanese. Wrestling in Japan is pretty. It's up there, with Mexican style. But like I
Hmm.
said, it's simple as this. Like I said, if you ask a Mexican or Japanese to do American style wrestling, we can do it easy, easy,
Right.
easy,
Hmm.
easy. But you ask any American wrestler, and they're not gonna be able to do it. You have these type of guys like Chris Jericho,
Yeah.
Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, all those guys that started in Mexico, training in Mexico, to
Hmm.
become more complete wrestlers, and that's
Exact.
why they were able to handle any
Yes.
type of wrestling. I mean, you see
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero, he
Hmm.
could pull up a great lucha libre match with Rey Mysterio one night, and then pull up a hell of a wrestling match with
Mm-hmm.
John Cena or Brock Lesnar or whomever,
Yes.
whomever. But I mean, if you throw the Undertaker in there with um, Mexican luchador, or John Cena with
Mm-hmm.
Mystico. I mean, it happened. Look at Mystico. When he went in there as Sin Cara,
Mm-hmm.
they would punish the guy for botches. But I mean, it wasn't just him. It wasn't just him. It was a lot of these guys that wouldn't be able to give him the base to make his movements. And
Yeah.
he
To
goes
make
up
it.
there to Mexico and
Mm-hmm.
wrestles seven 170 pounder, 5'5" guy, and he makes him look like a freaking movie superhero. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the difference between American wrestling and Mexican lucha libre.
Right. And I'm so glad that I learned lucha libre style wrestling because it opened my mind up to, I said, this is real. And the moves, I tell people all the time, run up on a luchador in real life if you want to. You're gonna get your ass kicked
Oh yeah.
because the moves are real. They're not trying to kill each other, but the wrestling is real. And a lot of people don't understand that. I was trained by Chano Jr., man. His father was a luchador from Mexico. So I learned some great moves, and I was around a lot of great talent, including yourself. When I met you, I was like, "Oh man, this guy's a freaking superstar."
Oh yeah. I know Chano. His dad. We fought him. We wrestled him in a championship versus hair match. So obviously he ended up going home with the bald headed. So we can move
Yeah,
on from that one.
yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of people, especially the young kids, I want them to learn about the legends, the luchador legends, Blue Demon, La Paca, Rush, Dragon Lee. These are guys that should be to the forefront. What do you think it would take for more Americans to realize that lucha libre is uh epic sport that they should be watching, and hold it to the same stature as they do WWE? What do you think that would take?
Marketing, like I said, marketing. I mean, WWE is the number one in marketing, and they're great at what they do. I mean, they're just on a whole another level, when it comes to production, and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. I mean, if you look at a show, it's like a soap opera, or half is like a Netflix series and half is wrestling.
Right, right,
You
right.
watch CMLL, it's pure wrestling, man. It's pure wrestling. I mean, we went up to Arena Mexico a couple years ago. Me and my compadre, we went to a show. It was a first match, right? Ended like in 15, 20 minutes.
Mm,
The wrestlers got off the ring. They weren't even, like backstage. You could see them walking towards backstage.
yeah.
Boom, the others wrestlers were already making their way down to the ring. You could get up to go to the restroom to go grab a beer, go grab some snacks. You couldn't do any of that, or you could, but you were gonna miss out on something.
You're gonna miss out.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, so we're just with our butts glued to the seats and high action. I mean, there was no microphone at all for
Right.
like the entire show, and WWE, that's what they do. So um, the way for I think it's getting there where
Yeah.
people are starting to realize where Mexican style wrestling stands at. And I think AEW, right now at this moment is the blame for it. It started with the WWF back then.
Mm-hmm.
They brought El Santo, they brought Cibernetico, Pierrot, and the Minis for just a couple of shows. But
Yeah.
they were more like they used Mexican luchadors more like a sideshow. More
Yeah.
like they didn't put them up there with big guys.
Right.
Back then when they were having their Monday Night Wars with the WCW, they WCW came up with the Rey Mysterio, Conan, La
Mm-hmm.
Parca, who's LA Park now,
Mm-hmm.
Halloween, Damian, Psychosis, all these
Mm-hmm.
guys, and that actually helped me because that's when I moved down here to Arizona, and I didn't have any Mexican wrestling to watch. All I watched was WWF and WCW, and all of a
Okay.
sudden I see these guys that I was watching a couple years ago back home in Mexico. Now I see them in WCW. It was like, oh shit, they're here. So um, right now with them, but they wouldn't also give him the top. top matches. Every now and then Mysterio had, when he had his feud with Eddie Guerrero in
Yeah.
WCW and then WWF. But I think what AEW is doing now is they're bringing more lucha libre type of wrestlers, not just Americans. You see
Yeah.
Kenny Omega,
Hmm.
who's got like Mexican Japanese style. And we just had a couple of weeks ago or last week we had Adam Copeland, Edge, wrestling Pentagon Jr.
Oh wow.
Penta's in a whole different level right now. He's probably like the number one luchador out there on the I'm not gonna say indie market in indie market because he's in AEW, but you know
Yeah.
he does a bunch of house shows, and that's something WWE wrestlers can do. And he's promoting himself, Lucha Libre,
Yeah.
Mexico. He's someone that's putting Mexican wrestling on the map. I mean, when you see all these guys, thousands of people, Americans or whomever here in the U.S., yelling "Cero Miedo" here back in England,
Right.
wrestling in front of 80,000 people.
Hmm.
Um, he's getting there along with all these guys that joined him in AEW, Dralistico and a bunch of guys that are heading down there with CMLL now. They had a big match in Arena Mexico with AEW coming down to Mexico with Daniel Bryan match with Blue Panther. So it's
Hmm.
getting there.
It's
I'm
getting there.
just I'm just glad I'm being able to wrestle against all these guys right now, like Pentagon and all those guys, that are up there. So
Yeah. Do you think, because it's kind of ironic that wrestlers are considered independent contractors, but yet a lot of the I don't want to say management, but the promoters don't want the wrestlers. I don't want you going over there to this one, or it's always like a beef or riff. Wouldn't it be better if you could go, your independent contract, you able to go wrestle everywhere? Wouldn't it be better for the sport overall if they were able to do it like that?
it would, but at the same time, it makes sense. It makes sense for me. If it's, for example, if it's Jamie signed to WWE or in this type of, well, let's say WWE. They're promoting your image. They're promoting you as a
Yeah.
wrestler. They're giving you these type of matches, and you're doing this and they're doing that. They're bringing you up here, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's like, Jimmy, you know what? Screw WWE. I'm going now to this company or this other company. And WWE, at the end of the day, would be the ones investing money in your
Okay.
every. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
It comes to a point where some wrestlers can decide if they want to do it or not. Like professional boxers. I mean, there's some boxers that don't have promoters anymore. Why?
Right.
They don't need one. They're already
Hmm.
made it. They're already made it. So they don't need
Hmm.
a promoter. All they need is just a couple of dates, and they make big bucks.
Right.
So that would be the same with I would think with wrestlers. Like Pentagon. Pentagon. He wrestles with AAA, but he's not signed to AAA. So I mean,
Mm.
AAA can't tell him what to do or what not to do. He can wrestle in house shows in Mexico, and some
Hmm.
of these AAA guys or some of these MLL guys, they can't do any house shows. They
Mm.
want to sign them up. You got to go through the office to get them down to one of your shows. And
Wow.
and this guy, along with many other guys like Cibernetico,
Hmm.
La Parca, LA Park now. Some of these guys, they call the shots now.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Explain to the people that's watching the how unique it is for that mask. No other wrestler can wear that mask that you have on. That design, rather, right?
That's correct. I mean, everybody needs to have their own identity. I would call it. But you know, a lot of people still, you see these guys like they build their mask or they design their mask like Blue Demon, like Mystico,
Yeah.
Cabismo Negro, or like Pentagon. I mean, right now it's pretty hard not to have something that looks similar to another wrestler.
Right.
So if you see these guys with the hat, they cover their eyes and they're like, oh, Abismo Negro, or you see them wearing like some long fabric down here and it's, oh, they're like La Parca, or
Yeah.
a crown. Oh, Rey Mysterio. So it's pretty hard not to have something 100% original,
Right.
because there's so many superstars, in the present and the past, that you're gonna look. Something's gonna be similar to somebody.
Yes.
Well, you can't have it 100%, or 80% the same. I actually had I showed a picture to one of my buddies, Blasphemia, last night at our training. I saw a luchador from Hermosillo, and looks exactly like him. Black on black, like we use on our equipment, and he painted his lips black like Blasphemia, eyes black like Blasphemia, black on black. I'm like, what were you doing in Mexico? What were you doing in Hermosillo, brother? He said, what are you talking about? No, don't give me that crap. And I showed him the picture. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, JD, I've been told. They already told me, what this guy's doing. So
Yeah.
that's where it gets silly. When you see somebody that's trying to be exactly like another luchador, it's
Yeah.
just not right.
Yeah. When I first got into the business, I was with Minnie Halcone. He helped me get my image together and my mask. Shout out to him. And it was a design that I want. He said, "No, you can't wear that, brother amigo. That's somebody else. You can't do that. It gotta be different." I was like, "Wow, is that serious?" He said, "Yeah, it can't be like
Oh
so
yeah,
and so."
it's just it's so serious. It can get to like legal, like lawsuits and all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah.
pretty big, especially with guys like Blue Lemon, El Santo,
Hmm.
all those guys. I mean, they see something they don't like, or you're selling their type of stuff, their merch, or the mask looks like you, or the name. Let's say I'm Anarky Demon or Blue Anarchy or whatever. They're like, that's something that you gotta it took from me.
Right,
Either you get rid of it, or we'll see you in court.
right. Now, how sore are you after a match? Are you like football sore, or just a little aches and pains? But you definitely sore after some wrestling. But how sore do you typically get?
Well, it depends the type of match you have. Sometimes uh, I'm not gonna say sometimes that matches are easy, because no matches are easy.
Right,
But when it takes to beatings, sometimes you have some good days, but most of them are bad. Most of
right.
them are bad. Even in training, I mean, yourself. I've been training.
Hmm.
Rolling around, jumping around. Slamming
Hmm.
the ground to the ring in the ring. You end up sore pretty
Right.
much every day. If I would compare it to something, I would say wrestling sore. Where you have everything from your
Yeah.
fingers, wrists, shoulders, your
Hmm.
back, your hips.
Hmm.
When I started training, I would my toes. I mean, I didn't know how to land, so I would land on my toes would just hit the mat. Uh,
Right.
both of them are pretty much messed up. My both two toes from and but I would say that, I mean, there's some hardcore matches that I've done, that it's just going through a grinder. So
Right.
it depends the type of match you have.
Okay. Okay. Now, how often are you wrestling? Are you wrestling every weekend, every week? How many shows are you doing?
Well, right now we've been busy pretty much every week. uh I'm off this week. It's my wife's birthday was on April 4th, and
Okay.
I had matches every single weekend, and but I had some. It was a great opportunities I was getting. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, honey, I'll make it up to you. Match. and
Yeah.
then, and then the week after, something popped up. Oh shit, I'll make it up to you. But yeah, so I took this weekend off. But last week
Okay.
we had I was teammate with Abismo Negro Jr., and we were up against Pentagon from AEW, and Dinámico from Lucha Libre AAA.
Mm,
Friday and Sunday was the AAA show. I'm taking this week off to finally make it up for my wife.
yeah.
And next week we're gonna meet La Parca, the original La Parca,
Oh wow.
LA Park. So Cinco de Mayo, we got Rey Mysterio, the son of Rey Mysterio, the real Rey Mysterio, which is Rey Mysterio Jr.'s uncle.
Oh wow. Okay.
Rey Mysterio Hijo, and Dinámico again from Lucha Libre Triple A down here in Nogales. And the 12 are supposed to have like a small show, local show in Nogales, and just lot of action going on. Thank God.
Mm.
And 2 3 weeks ago, I was up against Rayo de Jalisco. Some Rayo Jalisco Junior, who's he's a Mexican legend. I don't even know how
Mm.
old the guy is, but he's somebody that I would see as a little kid. And I went up with Mascaraño 2000 as a teammate for that match, which is they've been having this feud for like 40 years.
Wow.
It's crazy, because you see this as a young kid, and all of a sudden, you're up there with them, as the same corner with the Mascaraño 2000, and you're looking across the ring, and there's the legend himself, Rayo Jalisco Jr. So I'm getting all these opportunities, and trying to make the most out of them.
Right.
Um, I think I paid my dues. I've been around 14 years, which doesn't sound like much compared to all these guys. They're like 30, 40 years in the business, or over 20 plus years.
Yeah.
I've been competing at a high level with all these guys, pretty much for like 10 years now.
Right.
So I think I'm getting close to where I would like to be.
Right.
Already had some invitations to go to Triple A tryouts in Mexico. I've had some pretty good opportunities, and I'm just trying to make the most of them, and like I said, hopefully sooner rather than later, not just be known in Sonora, in Arizona, or the northern part of Mexico, which
Yeah.
people know about Anarky now down south in Mexico as well.
Nice.
Um, I went.
Tijuana.
Oh yeah, Tijuana. We went
Hmm.
to Rosarito. I think it was December or November. We went to Rosarito down there. I talked to like he's he was I'm not sure what he does. He's like he's a guy that's with the Triple A guys down here in Mexico. He works in the office, and
Okay.
he says he's gonna. I think he's a booker as well. He's gonna start putting me in the shows with Triple A in Tijuana as well. So that's
Okay.
something I'm looking up to as well. Getting all these opportunities with that are popping up with these guys. Seeing what I can do up in the ring, or the same
Hmm.
the same luchadores. I mean, like I said, a lot of these guys they already know who Anarchy 631 is,
Hmm.
and like this guy, they had a show with Triple A in Obregón, Sonora, and they were like, what? It's not just like Juan Perez or Jonathan
Right.
Johnson, whatever, can wrestle with Triple A superstars. It's like they gotta know who you are. They're not
Yeah.
they're not gonna risk their superstars to go in the ring with against you if they don't know who you are.
Right.
And it's like we know who you are. We know what you do, what you're capable of doing. You can go up there with any of our stars anywhere in the country,
Hmm.
and we won't have a problem with that. And that speaks of the what I've been able to bring up to the table every time I face these guys. I've gained the confidence of not just the wrestlers themselves, but the people up in the with the wearing the suits and the ties as well.
Right. And that's another thing that, again, not disrespecting American style wrestling, but luchador wrestling backstage, it was like a brotherhood. They was like, amigo, we gonna take care of you. We're gonna put on a good show, but we take care of it. We take care of each other.
Exactly.
We're not trying to kill each other. Now, when I wrestled, an American wrestler was the exact opposite. He trying to take my damn head off. I'm like, can you calm down, bro? We're gonna give a good show, but relax. But
Oh yeah.
the luchadors, all the amigos, definitely it was so family oriented backstage. It was crazy.
Well, it depends what show you were on. I mean, we have a lot of these going down here as well. What some people try to take your head off or whatever,
Yeah.
or like you said, with some rivalries between not just wrestlers but promoters now. So
Yes, that was big. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but I mean, right now it's like I said, it's it got to a point where we can decide where we want to wrestle or
Mm-hmm.
against who, and it doesn't mean that Jimmy Bunley is afraid of anarchy. It's just that Jimmy Bunley wants to take care of himself because down there in
Right.
the ring, I've had it in the past where these guys, there's rivalry that's just not inside the ring or backstage. It's personal.
It's personal. Yeah, yeah. I
and
saw that myself
and
too.
I'm a fighter, man. I don't
Yeah.
mind getting my hands dirty in the wrestling or in the streets. I will tell them, what I mean. I have no business going up in the ring against who whomever person I might have a personal problem with.
Yeah.
We don't have to go up there in the ring. I mean, we just take care of it, in the streets and let it be over with.
Yeah.
Because if you go up there in a match having that kind of issues, it's gonna turn up pretty bad. It's gonna
Yeah. It's
turn up
gonna turn.
bad,
Yeah.
and I don't mean just possible injury. The show is just not gonna be it's not gonna be a decent show for the crowd.
Right.
Uh,
And the
it,
kids
it,
and everybody.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's happened in the past. It gets crazy and it just blows up and it doesn't look good. We gotta be
Yeah.
professionals up there. If I have something personal with somebody or somebody has personal problem with me, like I said, I try to take care of it behind
Yeah.
behind backstage or in the streets, and if they want to or whatever. And but when we go up there in the ring, it's got to be 100% professional.
Yes.
And if I
Exactly.
feel
Yeah.
something, and I tell them, man, if I feel something, that's just shouldn't be there, or if I feel something stiff, it's just gonna end up pretty bad. So
Right. 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 Do you have any aspirations of even going to the WWE? Is that
oh no,
something on
shit,
your?
no. I mean, I'm 100% real with myself. I mean, I'll never be with the WWE. If something, I could picture myself definitely in AEW with
Yeah.
with luchadors getting their shots in this type of wrestling. I've seen some guys, that I can say, what I think I can do better than that. But in WWE, it's like I said, it's the way they market wrestling is just
Yeah.
not a lot of opportunity for guys like me. You have Rey Mysterio, but he's a one in a million. They
Right.
haven't
Right.
they haven't been able to find another Rey Mysterio. They tried Mystico, who's a big hot shot down here in Mexico still, and
Right.
it didn't work out for him there. They tried a Calisto, it didn't work out for him. They tried the other Sin Cara, it didn't work out for them.
Mm.
They're trying now with Dragon Lee. We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. I saw him.
Oh yeah, they've had a bunch of Mexican wrestlers, and they've been looking for the next Rey Mysterio for years now, and it's just not gonna happen. For the type of wrestling that they do,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen.
It's
It's
not
gonna be
gonna.
yeah.
Yeah. It's too fast paced. The Mexican style for WWE. Yeah.
Yep.
Before I let you go, because I don't hold people too long, I know you got to get to practice.
I gotta eat
What
my chicken wings first.
what tell everybody what you got going on, and if anybody want to reach out to you, where can they reach out to you at?
They can reach out to me on my Facebook. I go by Anarky Cantua, Anarky Anarky Cantua Cantua. Instagram, I rarely use it, but I guess you can find me there. Anarky631, the numbers. I've been busy lately on YouTube. I've had the channel for years, but I wouldn't really promote it or upload anything up until lately because that's something I want to do when I retire. I'm not gonna say I'm getting there to where I want to retire,
Yeah.
but I'm 38 now. So I'm probably gonna retire. And geez, well, I'm not even gonna say I used to say I was gonna retire. I used to say I was gonna retire when I was 35, but no. But that's something I want to do. Once I'm done with wrestling, is just go up to shows and take some videos of interviews
That'd be
and
dope. Yeah.
yeah. So that's my YouTube is the same, Anarky631, the numbers, and that's it, brother. I mean, we're gonna have I started as a promoter as well, so we're having a bunch of shows down here in Nogales, Mexico.
Okay.
We've had superstars like Octagon, Atlantis, Máscara Sagrada, Pirata Morgan, Cibernético, Elegido, Tinieblas, Mamba, Tiago, Big Mami, Pentagon Jr., and uh, some other guys I can't recall. We've had 6 shows now. We're up to our 7th this May 5th, and
Nice.
on June we're gonna have our 8th. So we're busy as promoters as well down here in Nogales, and you know yourself when you start doing this, it's like it's like we call it EGs. No, well, there's kids watching, so I'm not gonna say it, but it's something you have to do it. You have to
Yeah.
have it. It
Right.
runs through your veins,
Yeah.
and you gotta have it. Lucha Libre is wrestling. It's something once you do it, you can't stop doing it.
That's right. Last word before I let you go. To any inspiring kids that's looking to try to get into this business, give them some advice.
Just literally wrestle for your dreams, like we say in Mexico, lucha por tus sueños. You can make anything happen. Anything happen. I mean, whether it's lucha libre, or a professional athlete, or you want to become a doctor or whatever, it's you can make anything happen. I mean, I wouldn't have imagined, sitting backstage with my childhood superheroes, and now I sit backstage with them. I go out and have lunch with them. We travel together, and it's just crazy. I was at a show back in South in Sonora with Octagon, my very first time I met him, and this was one of my superheroes when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to travel back and forth, and it's a long drive. It's the roads in Mexico, they're not as beautiful as they are in the U.S. They're very
Yeah.
dangerous when it comes to that,
Mm-hmm.
and with other issues, with the security reasons in Mexico, it's also dangerous, and it was getting late, and I still have my mom on me, calling me like, "How are you? How you doing? Did you get there? Are you done? Did you get off the ring? Okay? Are you injured?"
Yeah.
I have my mom. My wife, she could care less, man. I'm like, mom, she's always checking on me, and she was checking on me like, didn't you get off the ring like an hour or so ago? I'm like, and you're still there? I'm like, yeah, mom. She's like, well, it's just, it's too late now. It's dangerous, and I'm like, mom, I'm with Octagon right now. We're having some taquitos. We're drinking some Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And I'm having the time of my life just sitting across the table from Octagon. And my
Right.
dad's like, leave him alone. Like, he's Octagon. Like, do you know who Octagon is? Like, well, he's just, yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't know who Octagon
You don't know.
like,
Yeah.
up here. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's just these type of stuff that, up until this day, like I said a couple of weeks ago with Rayo de Jalisco, I mean, that guy was my dad used to watch him, when he was young.
Mhm.
So those type of stuff is, when you start thinking, you know what, you work hard, you grind hard, and you can get there. You can
That's
get
right.
there. So to all
That's
the
right.
kids, you can make whatever your goal is, you can make it happen.
That's right. Oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate you for taking time out to come on this little small show, man. My
Anytime,
brother, not only my brother in real life, but my brother in the wrestling world, man. Thank you so much, man. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you, brother. I'll be
All
here
right.
whenever you need me. Thank you,
Okay,
brother.
thank you, man. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right.
Touch
Later.
ciao.
Yes, sir. Hey, that was Anarky, man. Good friend of mine. Wrestled with him, Lucha Libre boss, when I was wrestling. A good conversation. Dope show. Again, y'all tune in tonight. And in the No Anonymity Podcast. Peace. Until next time, I'm out.